important for our customers that we're able to offer a 2-berth and 4-crane service. I mean, they want to come here, work quickly, move on to their next port. So having the ability to have 4 fast operating cranes on 2 berths, that's absolutely critical for us. It's the reason we built Cash and Key 2 as a new container berth, and it's the reason we're buying this new crane. They're made in a very interesting place. They're made in a landlocked part of Ireland, in Killarney Island. They come disassembled and they are fully assembled here. So it's a very long process to assemble them. It takes about 2 to 3 months to assemble and commission them here. So we've had a big part of our terminal used for that.
The ship arrived on the 7th, I think it was, of May, and we took the cargo from the ship's side to our lay-down and assembly area here, using trucks and trailers, transporters. Then we unloaded them using our mobile cranes. They've given us a decent space this time. We had with the last crane, 2004, we were down in the boxing ring right down the far end, and we were very constrained with size, and also the ground was not very good. So this is really good, this space here. We've had a good run here.
I suppose everything comes in little parts or big parts, like the boom there now, for instance. It comes as one big section. That's probably the biggest part, and the beam. We assemble everything from pinning stuff together, from bolting stuff. Everything's torqued then. We've bolt sizes from M16 upward, and we've bolts from M12. All them small bits have to be assembled, sorted. They're put in their designated areas where they're to be positioned. We'd lift the panels first. We call them the panels, the legs. They'd be assembled on the ground, and then we'd lift them in a tandem lift.
With the legs, of course, they've got to pick them up from a location, stand them up, and then turn them around and put them in place. So coordination is key really with that. When we're doing a big lift, we have a briefing. We get all the crane guys together and talk about what we're going to do with the lift. We have a lift plan, and then we'll cordon off the area and then do the lift. And we don't like to go over 50% of the capacity of the cranes when it's a tandem lift. So we try and make sure we're well inside our ratings for our cranes so we don't have any problems. But yeah, the guys all are experienced. You'll have one person usually for the legs, and that it was me controlling the lift. Probably the apex is probably usually the trickiest, which is the top A-frame. So that's probably usually the hardest, because you've got to line the legs up with the bolts, and then the back ties line up with pins. So you've got 2 adjoining components. So that's usually the trickiest part. Crane drivers have a very strict understanding of what they're required to do, and if they have any issues, they have to beat the horn and not stop the lift. So that brings it to our attention, and then we'll call a stop, and then we'll go back and address what the issue is.
That was a quite interesting day. We were all set in the morning, good to go. We had everything rigged and slinged. Cranes were in position, men were in position. We just had it up. We had been going up in these man lifts, EWPs. We were up there just getting into position, and then this unpredicted wind came, and it wasn't forecasted until later in the evening, and we had hoped we had everything in position and pinned and all the ropes on, but it kind of caught us with a bit surprise, and we had to abandon. Like, we had to come back down again.
Boys didn't take any risks, they just put it back down and had another go the next day. So you can't do that sort of job if it's too windy, but the wind does come up here quite quickly. The idea is that we'll put all these yellow skids underneath, we'll slide it forward about 28 metres, and then we'll travel it that way along the berth about 230 metres, then we'll travel it through the quay, and then we'll go again.
What's the biggest challenge? Is it weather or the surface here, or what?
The ground, actually. The ground for this part now. making sure the ground's okay. It's 925 tonnes, so it's a bit of weight there, so we can only slide forward. We slide forward at about 18 metres an hour, but it's all the work that's involved in setting it all up and jacking it, because you've got jacking stations on each corner to lift it, then put the skids in, jack it on the land side and put the skids in. It's all slid on Teflon with stainless steel. So that's all done by hydraulics, and we just run a big mat system of hydraulic rams and we just slide it. Then we lower it onto the rails with hydraulic jacks.
It's been a great project, and we've worked with these guys, Rich Rigging. They've been doing work for Liebherr for a long time, since possibly '94.
Yeah, we've done quite a few cranes with Liebherr. I think it's must be 18 or 19 cranes with them now. So we sort of know them pretty well. We know the guys, they're good. We usually know who's coming out and know them or their father or one of them now, because we've been doing this for about 14, 15 years.
So tell us, have you done much work on cranes in this port?
Yeah, we've done all the cranes here. We've re-railed the original Pacico about 2000, I think that was. That was our first time down here. And then we built the number 4 crane and the number 3 crane as well. So we sort of, we've done them all.
So the oldest crane's been here for 40 years, so it's done really good service, but to be honest, she's just too small in terms of capacity and reach the end of its life, so that will be disassembled and scrapped. And some will be sad to see crane 1 go, because that's had a big history. It was the first crane for the container terminal here. We've had a lot of growth, and so we're very busy as a container port. So this is a very modern crane, one of the most modern cranes in New Zealand. It'll enable us to handle increased volumes and handle increased size of ships. It has an 18 container outreach, so it's very big, very strong, but it has some technology in it which is good. It's got a fibre optic cable in its power supply, so we can remotely monitor the performance of the crane. We can see the mechanical side of it, see the electrical side of it remotely, which is better than the current cranes we have. So it's a big turning point, I think, for the port, and positions us for the future.